2020 was a year that damaged so many industries and businesses within the UK. One industry that was impacted severely was the theatre, which lost millions of pounds and had thousands of jobs at risk. Nobody thought it would survive to see another year. To understand what it was like to live through this, I'm going to talk to a few people who work in theatres to see what 2020 was like through their eyes.
Last year, everything started out normally. There was a little talk of coronavirus, but nobody thought much of it. But suddenly, we had to close. There were no warnings, so we had to turn people away at the door. And we couldn't rebook them as we didn't have a return date. Everything was new, which scared me.
I think it all felt quite strange at the beginning. It didn't really feel very real. I certainly didn't think it was going to still be affecting our lives a year later. I guess it was just a brand new thing, wasn't it, for everybody? So we didn't really know what to prepare for. Initially was a little bit worried, potentially. And then obviously as the year's gone on, it has been difficult at times. But I think at the beginning, I didn't really know what to expect. I think the initial thought was, am I still going to have my job, or is it still going to be able to continue?
We were in a real financial crisis situation in the early part of the pandemic. When it happened, quite quickly, the City Council were very keen to ensure that the legacy of New Theatre Royal did survive. So they were very supportive and helpful. So it was definitely something that everyone wanted to, ensure that the survival of the theatre. So that was very reassuring.
As time passed, I became more worried. The government said it would only be a short while, but no one knew what was going on, so how long it would be was impossible to measure. I was self-employed, so I couldn't get furlough from the government. I started to worry about my livelihood.
So we've got over 2,200 seats in our theatre. And you can imagine when it's socially distanced, not only does it cut out the amount of seats, but also the ticket sales as well.
So it became a sort of a crisis management situation. Obviously, ticket sales are the key sort of income generator, and having shows and getting money over the bar, and that just all went overnight.
I thought that I was alone in my struggles. But ITV released a survey in June which allowed me to see those theatres across the UK were struggling. All of them said that the government haven't done enough. A short time after this, the government said that they would give £500 million to UK cultural venues. However, this was too little money and came too late.
Sometimes we feel in the arts, don't we, that we're not all the most supported sector, although we're really important to the economy, actually, in the wider scale. Because there is sort of a history, isn't there, of if you're not doing sort of core subjects like maths or English or science, then they're the sort of real jobs.
In September, normality started to set back in. I started performing in outdoor spaces. This gave me hope that theatre would be saved and people would still be interested in our work and performances. But this all came crashing down when the government decided to release adverts that suggested that people in the performing arts industry get jobs in technology. These adverts told me that I should stop doing what I love and what I want for something I have no interest in. This just confirmed that they don't care about us.
I think some people don't always realise either, do they, how transferable creative skills are. I think it takes a lot of confidence to do anything creative and a lot of an imagination. And actually those skills can be transferred into lots of different roles and are incredibly valuable.
Planning to do an outreach project, which is about sustainability of people's careers in the arts. And we've tried to focus also on community and well-being. So we've tried where we can to bring our youth theatres back and make sure that they've got a space to perform. Because, if that's your kind of leisure fun pursuit, and if you haven't been able to do that for 18 months, it's quite a big chunk of your happiness that's not there anymore.
In November, we were allowed back into the theatre to rehearse. However, we were urged to only do plays that we had already planned and not waste any money on new things as we might not reopen. This was difficult as it was Christmas time and it's tradition for so many families to go and see a pantomime, but we didn't have any planned as we'd been closed for so long. We decided to go along with the pantomime as our area was okay to reopen, But as nobody was allowed to travel to us and the guidelines in place, we ended up losing more money than we would have if we kept shut. However, as Christmas came closer, we once again had to close. Just this time, I don't know if I'll be back on stage ever again.
I think it might take a while to rebuild some of our reserves and our resources, and also maybe our customers too, because as you said, there probably will be people that aren't ready to come back yet. So I think like any of this, it's probably going to take time before it's normal again. But I genuinely believe it is going to be okay, and it's going to just hopefully keep getting better from here. And actually, maybe we'll be more grateful for being able to do things in person and do things that potentially we took for granted. You know, this pandemic isn't going to last forever, and hopefully we can get back to the time when, you know, going to the theatre is really, really enjoyable and safe again.
I think that I suppose there's still a lot of nervousness. Will people come back? Will people buy tickets? The industry will carry on in the longer term. But what the future holds, you know, as we move into 23, 24, I mean, I really don't know.